For those that don't know me, my name is Luciano Bove. I'm a car designer, design manager. I still receive questions about how I can become a car designer. I think that in 2022, 2023, compared back to my time, it's a little bit different the way you can aspire to become a car designer. I would say that today you guys have a lot of options. That's because there are a lot more schools, international schools in many countries around the world, and also because there is a lots of communication thanks to internet that makes your life a little bit easier in understanding how you should do and what designers do and how they do, because there are lots of YouTube videos showing car design studios when they work, when designers work on clay modeling, when there is I don't know, for example, a story video about a special model of a company or another company. So you have a lot of opportunities out there to discover already by yourself without going away from your home or searching for a particular type of magazine or book. You can already get lots of information that of course will help you in a dramatic way to get the information and fast. At the same time, I think that you have also the chance of having people like me, like other colleagues that are on YouTube, like for example Scott Robertson, the author of several good, excellent books teaching car design and how to draw cars and products in the right way and how to stimulate your creativity. So you have a lot of people like me that on YouTube they have their own channel just like this one, sharing and teaching online. Then you also have online courses that can prepare you to become the next transportation design student. I also have my online course, of course, that prepares young people to make their entry portfolio and then get accepted to a design school. You also have lots of more books today, or ebooks like the one I do, that you can find online, with which you can learn already by reading and looking at the illustrations, the step-by-step tutorials. You can learn the first steps you have to make in order to start sketching your cars and exercise your creativity. So the question is, what is in common between 30, 40 years ago to become car designer and today? Well, there are a few things that are still in common because they are really the same. And one, in my opinion, the most important one is that to become a car designer, you must have several qualities, okay, that are human qualities, that if you don't have, probably you will never become a car designer. The first one, it's a talent. The talent that pushes you to draw cars, okay? Now, you can draw very badly cars, but you have that talent in you. You don't know yet that that talent can blossom and become exceptionally good and push you to become a very good designer or a very good sketcher, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in order to learn how to sketch cars, you have always to start from the basics of drawings. That is what I try to teach, on this channel and through my ebooks or my online courses, okay? The basics of drawings, it's really the base, the solid, massive base you must have and you must learn in order to move to a next step that will be more complicated but not that hard for you if you learn how to sketch cars starting from the basics of drawing. Now, why is so important? It is a little bit like when we try to build, I don't know, a house, and we build the walls and everything, but we forget the foundation. So what's gonna happen? The first time that will be big, bad weather with lots of rain and snow and ice, the house will come down. Or if there will be an earthquake, that house will come down and will be completely destroyed. So the foundations are very important. The basics of drawings in car design, but in any type of artistic field, it's really the most important thing we have to learn at the beginning. We have to get in our brain, in our heart, you know, it has to almost become a part of our DNA. This will help you to understand that when you make a car sketch, you will know how to have a critical eye to judge your sketch with several methods and techniques that we experience on this channel, to look at the mistakes you make just by yourself without having someone telling you, hey, look at this, you made a mistake. And therefore you can correct that mistake, or those mistakes by yourself. And making mistakes, it's normal. Especially at the beginning, I made many mistakes, I still make. But when I was very young, starting school, I was struggling with perspective, I was struggling with proportions like everybody else. What saved me was the constance of sketching every day, trying to find that will inside me that was pushing me to improve as much as I could, because I wanted to be good designer. I wanted to become a good designer, and also I want to become as good, at least as good as my best classmates that were really good already. So there is also a little bit of that competition, that it's a same competition that helps you, you know, to push yourself mentally, because it's also a mental approach. It's not just the ability of using a pencil or a marker and make a beautiful illustration or a beautiful sketch. You need also to build inside of you that push, you know, psychological push that will always keep you very motivated, especially when things go bad, when you don't feel that you have got a good result with your illustration, with your sketch. Or for example, when you try to work hard on something that it just doesn't come out. To become a car designer is also to understand and plan your school career, making sure that you do all the right steps to get the right learning. Now, when I say that, I mean that you have to, of course, think about a bachelor in transportation design. This is always the best path, you know, to follow, because in that way you know that you will learn every single year of a bachelor, whether it's 3 years or 5. There are some schools that are also 4 years, so it depends on the school you will choose. You will not miss anything of the program, whether it's in the sketching phase, in the early stage, or in the medium stage, where you will start working with the mini projects in color, making the first renderings, and also working on digital. Okay, start making your models, and then the last year, which will be basically the preparation of your final portfolio that will allow you to go and search for a job once you're out of school, once you got your bachelor, once you will be graduated. This is the path that for me is the most important one. It's the most sure, okay, one, to make sure that you are in the best conditions to go out and search for a job, okay? Because the preparation you will receive, that you will gain after 3 full years of school, 4 or 5 years full of school, it's perfect to form you as a young junior designer that wants to start designer career in any car design studio or product design studio. Now, there is of course another way that some people take, not some people, a lot of people take, which is the master in transportation design, or in sustainable design, or in car design, or in I don't know, in new mobility. There are lots of masters out there in different schools. They're all very valid, but there is one thing that you have to understand, is that if you come from another university, already graduated, and then you think that it's the moment for you to finally do what you really love to do, which is to become a car designer, therefore you go to get a master in transportation design, switching field from engineering to design, from architecture to design, from science to design, or from, I don't know, graphic design to car design, that switch does not mean that you will have an easier life simply because you already are graduated and therefore you are adding a specialization in transportation design. Because you will understand that even if you will be like a year and a half or maxi 2 years to make a master, including the 6 months of training in sketching, because that's what you will be doing during a master in the first 6 or 8 months, the time left to learn what is to be a car designer and what it means, what is the right level to reach in terms of sketching, it will not be enough. The big risk is that yes, you will have a master, you will have already a graduation, and when you will go out, you will have really hard time with the portfolio you have to reach the standard level needed for a job application in car design, because this is a very competitive world. I mean, I'm sure you know already, I say it many times, but you sometimes forget it. The competition is really, really important. And that competition brings, how can I say, the standards so high that all the students from all world design schools that more or less get graduated at the same time, they're all fighting, okay, they would be probably, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 students, I don't know how many, but worldwide, they are fighting at the same time with their portfolio to get few jobs. Worldwide, I don't know, there will be probably 60 openings, or 100 openings per year. And some years there are no openings. Because once you get a designer and you hire a designer, let's say a young designer, you're looking for a young design, you company, and you get him, then you are set up. It's not that the next year you will be looking for another designer. So this means that if there is no other job opportunity somewhere else, in another company, there will be a restricted number of jobs available the year after. But every year we always have around 400 or 500, students that get a bachelor. And then you have to add to those also all the masters. There are less, there will be probably, I don't know, 100, but still. So we have a total of 600, people looking for the same job. And as you know, not all 600 will get it. So this means that you have to be prepared. If this does not happen, you must have a solution B, solution C. Must be a plan B or a plan C. Most of the time, people that don't get the design job as expected in car design, they can go and work for satellite small companies that work around the car design world, whether it's digital work, modeling work, or just creativity work that then is offered by those small companies to the big client that is a big brand, that is just making a contract with a supplier to get some different type of creativity and ideas. But of course the contracts are not the same. It's not the same if you go and work for Ford and if you go and work for XY that is very small and there's only 20 people working in that company. So that's something that you have to understand. So everybody should, aim, target the best company, and to do that you must be really good once you go out of school. Now, when you compare what is the production level of a bachelor student and what is the production level of a master student, you see that there is a difference. I mean, we see that. We professionals that receive portfolios and request for a job application, we can see the difference. And that difference is very strong. So that's why I say master must be a solution, a plan B for those that could not go to car design school. But if, for example, you are a product design student in university, you complete 4 or 5 years of university in your country for industrial design or architecture, and you always sketch car, and you always been sketching cars, and even at university you want to do a car project even though you are doing product design, then in that case I would say you have a good solution in taking a master, because you already have done a part of that educational scholastic program during your product design program at university, because the programs are not that different. But if you come from engineering, it's completely different. If you come from science or chemistry, it's completely different. So you understand the difference between the two things. All right, so this is another point that you must put in your head, that you have to use to think about it with your parents, with yourself first, then with your parents, before you make a choice in going to for a master or for a bachelor. But as I said, just to complete this part of our topic of today, I prefer always to look at portfolios that are from a bachelor program, okay, issued of a bachelor degree. Now there is also another thing I'd like to say is that we want to see beautiful and astonishing portfolios. Okay, so portfolio, it's really the core business of selling yourself. When you will have a portfolio, you have to take care of that portfolio, you have to prepare that portfolio really well, so that you have to make sure that I, okay, stranger, that I don't know you, I look at that portfolio and I have the will, I want to go through that portfolio from the first page until the last one. And maybe I will even come back on some project to go and check some details, because I found it really interesting. And I know that not all the projects will be perfect. Not all the projects will be an A+. So not all the projects will be up there. But you have to mix your cards, your projects in the portfolio, to make sure that the rhythm that you have, the sound, the rhythm sound of your portfolio, it's not coming down, but it's going up. And even if there is a little, stagnation up here, it's still up here, it's not down here. So that's what you have to do. You have to look at your project, you have to decide which is really the best one, the second best one, the third best one, the fourth one, and put all your projects in a sequence, so that when you look at the first one, you are so positive about it that you feel like you are very curious to go and check what's next. You understand? Okay, so that's about the portfolio. Now, there is another thing I want to say about the portfolio, is that if you have one sketch, it's enough, only one sketch, that has a big mistake, or that has some mistakes, or that is not really well done. Okay, like for example, perspective is not good. Your wheels on your perspectives are wrong because the minor axis is not following the right vanishing point. If you do something like that, then you will kill your portfolio. So my strong advice is that please take that sketch out, even if you like it. Even if everybody around you said, I love that sketch, so good. That sketch, it's not good. It's harmful. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. It's gonna just kill the reputation of that portfolio, because that's what's gonna happen. I will look at anybody, okay? Will look at that portfolio. So I look at the first project and I'm very positive. Then I go to the second project and I find that sketch that is bad. I will be focusing on that sketch and say, but how come this guy did that mistake and even put it in the portfolio? So is this guy good or bad? So I start changing psychologically the good impression I had on you, on your portfolio. Because now I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking how you think, how you behave, what level of responsibility you assume in choosing what is good and what is bad. What is your choice, and what type of maturity you have, in order to say that this guy knows what he is doing. So this is the thing. That single sketch kills your reputation and will kill that portfolio. I will look probably at the other projects after that sketch, but I will not be looking at them with the same eyes as I was doing it before. And this is a human thing. We cannot do anything about it. It's not that I go into to check a portfolio and I say, hey, Luciano, if you look something bad, please don't look at it because there are still nice things in that portfolio. No. I will be looking at the good as well as the bad things, because I have to make a choice. If that project, if that portfolio deserves a second call, to think about a job request or a job position or an interview. So it's very important. Also because you have to understand that we cannot make those mistakes. We, as a companies, we cannot make mistakes like that, because when we make a contract, it's almost like a marriage. So if I marry you, it's not that I can free myself from you 1 year later. It's not possible. Remember, if you feel that something is bad in that portfolio, take it away. Much better to remake the sketch, substitute, put the good one in, take the bad one off. The last thing I would like to talk to you about, I also often talk about this during my live design talks on this channel, is that there is also another aspect of your portfolio or your interview that it's as important as your portfolio. And this other part can kill, again, the opportunity to get the job. And this is about you. And I explain myself. Let's suppose that you get the right invitation for a job interview. Okay, so you arrive to the design studio, you get into this meeting room, beautiful meeting room with a big screen. You have your laptop or your iPad, whatever. We, connect it to the big screen and you start projecting your work. And you will be presenting your work. It's not that you go with the slides and you don't say anything. We will be there, okay? There will be a committee of 2 people, 3 people, depends, okay? And what's gonna happen? You will be there very happy, very excited to show your work. And you will be prepared to make sure that you give a good impression. And believe me, when we talk human, the human touch, first impression is very important. Just like in the portfolio. I look at the first illustration and I feel good. Or I can feel bad. And with you, it can be the same thing. We arrive in the meeting room, we see you, and we must have a good feeling. You have to do something that it's gonna give us that positive kick and willingness to hear you, to listen to you. Be smiling, relaxed, don't be too stressed, and you will start talking because you have to tell us about your project. You have to explain. We will ask probably a few questions. So what's your name? Where you from? What's your age? Which is the school you're coming from? We'll have your CV, but we want you to talk. We will push you to speak. Because in that moment, what we are doing, we are trying to make a psychological evaluation of your personality. We want to know how you are, who you are, how you behave, are you educated, are you rude, all that stuff. Because it's important, because here we come to the human part. The human part, as I said before, can kill the presentation. Even if your portfolio is really good. Because we don't want people that are arrogant. We don't want people that don't bring respect. There are all sorts of little things, that have to do with the human aspects, okay, that are very important. So you have to take care of those things just as much as you do with your portfolio. So it's not just that you have a nice suit, not a suit, but that you are dressed very nice and clean, you are smile, you shake the hands well and not with the dead hand, but you shake the hands, okay? And that will do the job. It's also the storytelling. What is your storytelling? Do you have a convincing storytelling? Do you have a storytelling for each project that makes sense. And how do you animate that storytelling, you know? It's like you are somebody that moves too much, you know? Just like me when I use my hands as an Italian human being, or you are more, you know, more corporate, a little bit more like when I am at work in a meeting, where I am a little bit more rigid, you know? So there are a lot of things that you have to consider. And nobody can teach you those things, because those are very personal. It's you, the way you are educated, the way you live your life, the way you believe in life, in the things you do, your behavior, your daily behavior. You cannot change those things, but you can correct some bad habits. Okay, for example, if you are somebody that moves too much, start thinking that you don't want to do that. You don't want to look like a clown during a presentation. If you have difficult time in remembering or in saying the storytelling of your projects, exercise at home, write down few paragraphs about what you want to say about each project, okay, in introduction, a body of what you have to say, of your content, and a conclusion. Knowing that everything should take less than 5 minutes for each project. Less than 5 minutes. So, I don't want you to over talk, because there are also people that talk too much, and then we get lost. And if I get lost, I get lost also in the interest I might have in you and your work. So, in order to catch the interest, you want to make sure that there is that rhythm in the portfolio, but also in you. So that when you are talking about your portfolio, the two rhythms go together. And I am always, you know, in the right rhythm. And you don't lose me, okay? Or you don't have to do something to bring me back to the attention, okay? So those are the advices I wanted to give you about this, about how you become a card designer, what's going to happen after school. Another thing I would like to say also, just in case you would like to, you're searching for an ebook to learn about the basics of drawings, you can always try to get my ebook, okay? The link is down into the description. It's sketching cards. There are also other ebooks, but I suggest always to buy sketching cards because it contains everything. You know, you spend only one time and you get everything you need in one ebook, okay? It's around $15, 15 euros. You can buy also the other one much cheaper, but you are buying only small parts of that ebook, okay? Because I separated in topics. Just in case you need an online course with me in live video for about 2 hours together once a week, you can write to me a message, and or you can contact me on Instagram in the chat, and I will send you the instructions to let you know how to do. The last thing I would like to let you know is that, of course, this channel too has a member possibility, okay, application, so you can get the membership for each month you want, for as many months you want. And what I will give you in exchange is a 50% discount on my ebooks, any ebooks, even the one to come. Okay, there is one that will come out in 2023. I will make a specific video only for members once a week, okay? So, just in case you like very much, you would like to tip me, you can click the super thanks button down here. Thank you very much, and bye bye.